So today I asked ChatGPT deep research, I want to do link building for a legal firm. Tell me what I should do, what I need to keep in mind, some strategies, best practices. Go deeper than the typical SEO speak, surface level tips about quality. I want real strategies to get results, go higher. And I asked it to make it applicable for like local law firms, regardless of niche. This is the output I gave it. So we're going to go over this output and then roast this output. So this is a big one. We'll try to go pretty fast. So, strategic link building overview. Purpose of link building: acquire high quality backlinks, boost local search rankings, increase domain authority, drive relevant client traffic. The core link building elements are focus on expert driven content, competitor backlink analysis, local relevance, genuine relationship building. The outcome is better rankings. Okay. Core principles: expertise as link bait. So link bait, create authoritative, accessible legal content from guides and FAQs that attract organic backlinks from journalists, bloggers, niche blogs. Okay. Local relevance matters. Focus on earning links from local trusted websites such as community news, Chamber of Commerce, local events pages. Building genuine relationships, so local businesses, media, organizations, networking, sponsorship, collaboration. Get high quality backlinks by being active locally. Okay. Leverage expertise as link bait. So number one, create a linkable legal resource. What do they mean by that? Well, comprehensive guide, FAQ. Why isn't FAQ linkable? Okay. How many FAQs do you know generate lots of links? Explainer articles that simplify complex legal topics, making them easy for bloggers and journalists to reference. Okay. Content by itself is rarely ever linkable. The one exception for that is if you can create statistics, relevant statistics that journalists will want, bloggers will want. If you are publish that statistic and it's relevant, so when they Google for that stat, if you show up somewhere, you have a chance to get reference. But like the other stuff I kind of talked about, no way, not going to happen. Number two is focus on timely, relevant content. Publish analysis on new laws, local legal trends, capture interest from news outlets and niche bloggers looking for authoritative. Okay, so this is a form of digital PR, I guess you could say. It's a lot of work they're basically asking you to be a reporter, a news person. So you or someone on your team would be monitoring the news, analyzing the news, digesting the news, publishing content about the news, and then figuring out, how to get visibility to that. I don't know many law firms actually doing that without like a gigantic marketing department. So again, sounds good in theory. I don't see anyone doing this kind of stuff in execution. However, if you did, you'd want to get like a publicist, right? You want to get a publicist who monitors for legal news. If they smell a story, then they come to you as the lawyer and ask you for your comments. You take your comments, you give it back to this publicist, and then they run with it. They actively promote it, right? Everything, link building requires everything, mostly active promotion. So, and then finally, promote your expertise actively share your valuable content with journalists, bloggers through outreach. Ensure your firm becomes a go-to source for, if you can become a quote source for journalists, you're in a really good position. So next, it's talking about competitor backlink analysis. Identify competitors, analyze backlinks, find link gaps, plan outreach. Pretty straightforward unless you've never heard of link building before. So what does this actually mean? When you identify competitors, why are you doing that? Because those competitors should be people that have a strong backlink profile and that they're ranking high in Google. So to have a strong backlink profile, well, to rank high in Google your keyword, see who ranks high. And then you want to check if they have a strong backlink profile. Like right now, I just Googled NJ tax lawyer. If I Google them in a paid tool like Ahrefs, Moz, Majestic, they all have kind of a domain rating scale. So this one has a domain rating of 12. They have 100 backlinks. So analyzing these particular competitor backlinks for potential links are what they're talking about essentially, okay? Find link gaps, plan outreach. So examine the types and quality of the sites, linking to competitors, local news outlets, industry blogs, legal directories, community news. Sure. What I suggest here is scale. You'll see I did a competitor link building video. I'll link to it at the top here. It talks about the complexities and how it's a lot more difficult than people make it sound, and how there's a lot of junk that you have to sort through. But there's some gold, but the goal is you have to build a big list of competitors. Just doing competitor link building with a handful is probably not going to get you very far. And then the idea here is see what links they have that you don't have, and then reach out to those people to also get links. I feel a little rushed here just because I feel like I have a lot of content to get through. Okay, let's keep going. So balancing quick wins with long-term strategies. Quick wins are list your firm on the free legal directories like Avo, Justia, yes. Request website mentions from trusted businesses and partners and local collaborators. Sure, with a caveat, they're probably going to want something in return, right? So if they give you something, they're going to want something, and suddenly you're just doing reciprocal exchanges where you list them and they list you. That's just called an A/B link swap, right? You do too many of those and it becomes a pattern, and then Google starts to penalize you, devalue you. So you can do that, but just, keep it chill. Google My Business, Yelp, standard stuff. Participate in relevant legal Q&A forums to gain profile visibility and occasional links. Sure. So long-term link building plays. Create original content, original reports, comprehensive guides, original data. Earn press mentions through proactive outreach, build relationships locally. Okay. Then the last one is kind of develop evergreen assets like legal calculators, detailed state-by-state legal guides. Maybe we'll get more into that one. So let's say now it's talking about prioritizing local relevance. So local links such as city blogs, chamber of commerce, local news, they provide high relevancy signals, that you're a big player in your space. So when you think about, there's 20, 30 different law sites, they all have the same, NJ tax lawyer, NJ personal attorney page. They all have the same SEO optimization, probably. How do you differentiate? One of the main ways is like backlinks, reviews. So there's a lot of different ways to get backlinks, but if you're getting a lot of local backlinks, like it's really hard to game that. Like you actually have to be a local player and like trying really hard to get those. So for sure. Target local media and community sites. Same thing, local newspapers, radio stations, become a local player. Leverage local events and organization links. So sponsor, your local softball league, for example. Or there's industries you sponsor, you show up on those names. Yeah, I mean, this stuff can get expensive, but Google is a pretty dumb search engine, right? So if you're in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and you're linked to and mentioned on like 20 different associations in Pittsburgh, Google's crawling that page, they're linking back to your page, they're seeing, lawyer Pittsburgh. So they get those like words, and then when people Google for lawyer Pittsburgh, it's digesting all of that, and it's exporting you, and it's saying that you probably rank higher than the others because they don't have those kind of signals. So relationship-driven link building, community engagement, professional collaborations, personalized outreach. So I feel like it's just kind of repeating itself. I feel like it's kind of made its point already. At local events, charities, professional groups, generate goodwill. Fine. Partner with local businesses, bar associations, educational institutions, and exchange valuable resources, co-create content that naturally includes backlinks. I mean, these things all sound nice in theory. You ever try actually doing it? Like it's 3 full-time jobs. Getting in touch with local businesses, trying to like get things across the finish line, doing enough of it where it makes a difference. Like none of this stuff is easy. That's honestly why no one actually does this kind of stuff. I'll tell you towards the end what people are actually doing. So cultivate relationships with journalists, bloggers, influencers by providing expert insights and timely information. Yeah, one of the best tips I can give you here is like go on LinkedIn, right? See who is a publicist locally in your area. Chances are they freelance, right? So, and if you go through like a big agency, like it might be a little more hands off for you, but the price will probably be 4 or 5x. So, look for someone that doesn't have a huge like company agency, they're just a freelancer. DM them, see how much, what they offer in terms of being a local publicist, put them to work. I bet they'd be happy to help. Earning links from local media and press. Newsworthy stories, build journalist relationships. So yeah, these are all kind of similar, right? It's just becoming an asset to a journalist, becoming a part of a story. So there are ways to do this for sure. I know HARO was something where a journalist would publish what story they're into. You sign up for that feed in your inbox. You get, okay, this journalist wants this, just journalist wants that. And then usually someone might be looking for someone who's a lawyer. And then you can put in your quote, and then if they like your quote, you can get a backlink. Now, the problem is that it's super, super competitive. The entire world is on HARO. SEO agencies for legal firms are on HARO. AI robots are now doing automated HARO. So it's super competitive. It's a total numbers game. And it's like, if you don't submit your answer within the first hour of that thing going live, like chances are you're just kind of wasting your time. So this is another like super hamster wheel thing where you need a really good agency probably, or someone internally who's really going to be on top of it. So write guest op-eds, columns, Yeah, if you can become a writer on like 3 or 4 like well-known legal outlets, that's pretty big. Getting those spots is definitely not easy. Local radio, TV, podcasts, Publicists, kind of, all of that. Media outreach action steps. Compile a list of local media contacts, including journalists, bloggers, which cover legal or community topics. It's definitely not easy. It's definitely a grind. Like NJ legal journalist, you're gonna have to click through 20 different keywords, try to find things that make sense, that work. And this is the really hard part. That's why there's digital PR agencies. There's multiple multi-million-dollar, because you have to develop timely, newsworthy angles based on your firm's expertise. Legal analysis of a new law, case outcomes, community, or like when some kind of funny story hits, like you're a lawyer who like has this quip, you go viral, you get 100 different mentions from like national outlets, all pointing back to your site, and suddenly you have like a domain authority of like 60. That's huge. Prepare concise press releases, engage with journalists, respond quickly on HARO, write guest. Okay, it's just reiterating. Legal directories and citation sources. We talked about directories. We talked about local niche citations, profile optimization, complete all directory profiles with accurate name, address, phone number, detailed descriptions, practice areas, well-ranked, well-optimized profiles rank better, attract more traffic to your website. So just kind of be everywhere. And if you're not sure, you can Google for directories locally, see who pops up, and then look for their like add a business page. You can see what links your competitors have using a tool like Ahrefs, and then legal blog forum participation. This is just kind of recurring. Optimizing directory profile listings, strategic partnerships for link building, educational institution collaborations, bar associations, community outreach, local business, sponsor local events, community initiatives, offer scholarships. Yeah, that could be interesting. We used to do a lot of EDU scholarship link building, where we put up a scholarship, like we were going to award $3,000 to a student, and then we build a giant list of like all the colleges ever. So every college has a page on their site called like third-party scholarships. So they'll mention it, they'll link to it, and it's cool, it's fine. EDU links, education links are some of the most powerful links you can get, except it's a hamster wheel. Like as soon as that scholarship is over, you have to either put up a new one, reach out, promote it, or they'll just get rid of it. So it's not really worth a long-term. It's not a long-term strategy. Volunteer, pro bono work, local awards, recognition. Okay, guest posting. Like, yeah, if you're actually outsourcing to an agency, they're probably just doing some guest posts for you, and then like probably not good ones, right? If you've ever tried it before. So I guess what legitimate guest posting would be pitching guest posts to legal blogs, local news, industry magazines, complementary sectors like real estate and HR. It's really hard for agencies to do this. I can guarantee you most don't, because it really is relationship based, and if they can pitch as you, then it's potential. Include natural contextual links. But yeah, when you write these articles, you want links back to your website, right? So you write this article, if you're a tax lawyer, you write something about tax law, it links back to your site in the About Us page. Maybe you have a resource on your website that you can link back to, and so on. So digital PR, publish original research data, create a visual infographic, newsjack, offer commentary. So this is an example of something we've done recently for a law firm, which I can show you. Publish original data. So one thing I'll say about digital PR is if you're a tax lawyer, you probably want to be talking about like some tax story. Digital PR for agencies anyway, it works when it's B2C. That's when you get a lot of links, because B2B, like super industry corporate stuff, like it's really, really hard. The failure rates are high. And if you're trying to outsource to an agency, you want high success rates. So this is an example of a wealth management firm. We did something that's kind of B2C, but still has some overlap, right? Most luxurious cities, so dealing with high net worth individuals. So we did this study. We published a nice custom asset, like GPT is saying you should. You get some insights. So this was a top 100 most luxurious cities ranking, and you pitch it out. So when you pitch it out, if it does well, you can end up with some really powerful stuff. So this one generated 48 backlinks. Some of the placements were Fox, Delaware Online, NJ 1015. Lots of different placements. You get good backlinks, good mentions, and then what happens, if you're a lawyer and you're wondering, well, how does that help me rank for, NJ tax law? Well, your domain authority goes up when you get these amazing links. You get awesome sites talking about your site. So as you get these links to your domain, the trust factor of your domain goes higher. And what that means is whatever content you publish on your site ends up being more trusted. And trust in Google means it ranks you higher. So, it's all kind of connected. That's why we like digital PR, because this stuff that they talk about with guest posting, thought leadership, like you cannot outsource this. Like you need to have someone internally doing this, grinding away at it. And if that's an investment, then this is way better than anything an agency should do. But if you want to use an agency, the digital PR angle I think is very powerful. What actually happens though? What actually happens with link builders, and this is how I had to find this site, right? I Googled NJ personal injury attorney. The site's on page 1. They didn't have these weird crappy links, but then so I said, okay, let me just go to Ahrefs. Let me look at who's ranking at the bottom, right? Or page 7, 8, 9, 10. So I found this random site. I don't mean to pick on them, but I had a feeling that they had a ton of links going to this page, and they were ranking position 70. So I had a feeling that they were gonna have a backlink profile that looked like this. Therefore, it's crucial to hire a car crash lawyer in NJ. It is important to seek the services of a New Jersey car accident lawyer, and you see what's highlighted here, right? It's anchor text. You can see what links they're going to. These are links that are typically just SEO links. You pay $50, pay $100. You can write an article, you can link back to your site, and then legal scoops. You look at the metrics. Domain rating of 61, pretty good. Traffic 5K, that's pretty good. Legal scoops DR 48, okay, that's pretty good. But ultimately, this is what old school SEO looked like for lawyers, and it used to work, where you just you don't have to do any. There's no digital PR, there's no networking, all the stuff we talked about in that thing. There's none of that. This is just writing an article for $25, going to your database, seeing who'll publish it, like any pretend blog, and you do this, and this is what link building is. That for SEO agencies, it doesn't matter what they say they do. This is probably what they do. So it's on its way out. It's totally gone. So if you're outsourcing to an SEO agency, that's probably what they're doing. So I don't think it's worth it. I think you should do digital PR, something like that. Okay, let me pause here. This is an ad for Outreach Labs as well. Outreach Labs is a link building agency. We focus on links, nothing else. So we have this really cool digital PR service, just like the one I talked about. At the time of this recording, this is subject to change, but $7.99 per month. We create a campaign for you, just like the one I showed you. We do outreach, we get links. You get some of the best links money can buy for the best prices possible. So outreachlabs.com, check us out. Let's go back and finish up this presentation. So digital PR, content-driven link building, publish original data, create infographics, newsjacking, utilize outreach frameworks and email templates, address recipients by name, try to keep it personalized, show genuine interest in research, increase the chance of positive response. So if you're going to do this internally, the person you probably hire is not going to do this, right? Ultimately, outreach is a low percentage game. So even with a really good outreach strategy, if you're doing cold outreach for partnerships or whatever, 1 to 5% success rate. So you're going to have someone sitting there writing 100 highly researched emails. No, they're probably not. It's just not what happens. And AI is just not good at it either. So, to pretend that super personalization works, it doesn't work. State a clear mutual benefit, yes. When you're doing outreach, you need to have some kind of value exchange. When you want to think outside the box, then that value exchange should not be money, right? You want to get links from places that don't accept money. So if you have a story, some data, I guess that's a form of value exchange. If you're like this amazing writer, well-known person, then your content can be the form of value exchange. However, if it's a law blog, law firm that has a marketer, they're probably hired and tasked with getting links to their own blog. So if you can offer them some kind of link opportunity, they'll hook you up as well. Scaling link building ethics, quality over quantity, avoid black hat, monitor anchor text diversity. Yeah, this is a big one. If you remembered in that sample, you were just seeing like lawyer, car accident lawyer in New Jersey car accident lawyer. Stuff just doesn't work as much anymore. So I don't know. Be safe. Local business, digital PR. All that local stuff we talked about is quite difficult to do. It's definitely quite difficult to outsource. So if you really want to do that local stuff, I suggest hiring a freelancer. hiring someone and having them do it internally. If you want to outsource like anything, it should be digital PR, right? Evergreen linkable assets. These are interesting examples. Legal calculators and tools. I think that's a good one. UI penalty estimator. And it's shockingly easy these days to create calculators. So this is the tool called v0.dev. I just typed in create me a DUI penalty estimator, right? You could do all the research, give it the math, and then feed it to a platform like this, and it'll create the page, design it, create the code. You could also do this on Claude. Claude is quite good at this. Same kind of situation. I'll show you what this output looks like once it's done. Look how ridiculously good these things are. Enter DUI details, select state, prior offenses, blood alcohol level, right? Create something like this, publish it to your site. If you don't know how to publish it to your site, hire a developer on Upwork to convert it to whatever format your website is. Title, URL should be, you can create a whole calculator section. And this will be like, anyone can do this. So it's going to be a strategy that dies pretty quickly, but you're in this little banana zone where you can actually do it and still have good benefits. All right, there you have it. So to summarize, ChatGPT really wants you to focus on local. It really wants you to focus on digital PR. This is actually two pretty good things. It went out of its way not to talk about like spammy guest posts that agencies are currently doing. It did, give some kind of like over the top stuff about what's actually possible. Hopefully like some of my narrative there helped kind of color in maybe what's more doable, where you should kind of focus. So thanks a lot, AJ at outreachlabs.com if you want to get in touch with me, if you like this kind of video. Like, subscribe. What I basically do is I take popular topics, I ask GPT what the deal is, and then I kind of, I roast it. Thanks a lot. Bye.